Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Gotham Knights commentary. I wanted to talk about Hogwarts Legacy being delayed and what that means for Gotham Knights. And there is some reasonable evidence and reason that we would believe that Gotham Knights is going to get delayed, which is very unfortunate. There's some evidence going against that I'll go over, and then there's some evidence that's clearly for that's indicating and pointing towards the fact that it will get delayed. So I'm kind of going to go over that and go through everything and just go over it with you guys. So, as I mentioned, Hogwarts Legacy delayed to 2022, and I wanted to read you a tweet from Jason Schreier, and he said Hogwarts Legacy delay out of 2021 was the first of many 2021 game delays to come. So obviously, I had to read that from an article because Jason Schreier has me blocked. So I didn't know that he tweeted that because I don't see his tweets and he doesn't see mine. So there we go. But that is something that he noted. And for all the negative things that I've said about him and he said about me, I will say that he is fairly reliable for the most part. And you can say that for a lot of people, online who maybe are controversial or leakers or whatever. They might be maybe morally questionable, but they're accurate, and that's certainly the case with Jason. So I'm sure that he knows multiple game cancellations are coming. The problem with Hogwarts Legacy being canceled in particular is that it's at the same studio as Gotham Knights. Not only that, if you remember, I made a video recently and I was talking about how, basically it's going to be a matter of two games coming out in 2021. They're both not going to come out in the same time period, so they can't both come out in November. Which game is going to come out in the summer? Well, now Hogwarts Legacy is delayed. That almost certainly means that Gotham Knights is going to come out in November. Because not only that, it's been 5 months since we've gotten anything from the promotional campaign or the marketing of the game or anything. It's really been radio silence. They've had this very minor marketing campaign where they tweet out about some of the costumes in the game, but nothing really to note or write home about. So I wanted to go over the main piece of evidence in each camp for why the game probably will get delayed, and then also the counter argument of here's why the game probably won't get delayed. I'll play devil's advocate and give you my thoughts at the end. So one thing really pointing towards the fact that this game will get delayed is because with working from home and the development process that has been happening under COVID, it's been very difficult for games to be made. I mean, game making is an inherently collaborative process. I'm saying this and going on this rant as somebody who has never made a video game, by the way, so just keep that in mind. But all things in work and business, they're very, very similar in the sense that there's a lot of cross-departmental communication. That's certainly the case in video games, where you have audio design and you have graphic design and you have all these different departments working together, and it's much more difficult to do that when you're working from home and you're dealing with COVID, circumstances and that type of thing. I think that's a serious consideration. That really leads me to believe that there is a reasonable possibility that this game will be delayed, along with many others, and that's why so many other games are getting delayed. As Jason Schreier mentioned, it's because of work from home. It's not because of COVID per se. It's because of the conditions that COVID creates, which are work from home conditions, and working from home is just less efficient, generally speaking, than working in an office and collaborating together and having that level of communication built in. So it's just the way it has to be until the COVID situation is resolved, which looks to be at least 6 months until there's any level of widespread resolve to the disease spreading. I mean, I don't know what the benchmarks these game development studios are trying to hit or anything like that, but I imagine that the remainder of this year, in large part, is going to be working from home due to the virus. So, given that, that's going to make the process of game development slower, which is just painstaking, given that we've already been waiting for this game for a very, very, very long time, obviously, as everybody knows. So, that's not any reason to rush the game out before it's ready or anything. It's just a pain point that fans will feel of just like, oh my God, I mean, just feeling like we can't catch a break, between the cancellations that happened 3 to 4 years ago to now the COVID that's delaying the game and, all these other things. It's a very precarious situation. But I do think there's a possibility that the game will stay in the November slot. And here's the main reason that we have to believe that. Obviously, the fact that we've already had gameplay. Not only did we have gameplay that we saw, it came out 5 months ago. So at this point, basically half a year ago, we got gameplay for this game. You can't say that for Hogwarts Legacy. You can't say that for a lot of other games. So that is a big piece of evidence working in our favor that is something that most other games do not have, that will be canceled, So I'm very hopeful in that sense that there is some level of possibility that the game comes out in November. We'll have to wait and see. And as I mentioned, COVID creates some serious logistical barriers to the game being made. But with that being said, we got full pre-alpha gameplay 6 months ago. And if you tack on after August to, let's say the game comes out this November, that's more than a year from pre-alpha to release. That's certainly feasible. They've been working on this game as well for, I think, I don't want to say because I'm not right. I'm not going to be exactly right. Somewhere in the ballpark of 3.5 years, roughly 3.5, maybe even upwards of 4 years at this point after August. Somewhere around 4 years. So that's a long time. That's considerable. WB Games Montreal is a very large studio. So there are a lot of things working in our favor here. It's not all doom and gloom, and it's not to say that the game certainly will be canceled, but I just wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. And then at that point, it literally is our fan base of DC game fan base is the most unlucky fan base in everything. Everything. You can look at any medium, I don't care. We are more unlucky than anyone else when it comes to 3 game cancellations at this studio alone, not including the fact that I won't get into what's happened at Rocksteady. Anyway, so much, nothing bad happened at Rocksteady, but it was more, okay, I'll just say it, because since I teased it, I have to say it. The rumors were that Rocksteady wanted to make a Superman game, and WB Corporate said no. That's just a rumor, allegedly. Don't sue me, WB. Allegedly. That's what all the trades have run with. That's what everybody's reported. So between that, and by the way, I saw a video on Twitter. Some dude made an indie game that looks like a Superman game. It literally is an indie game made by one person, and it is a fully functional Superman game with gameplay. So, you telling me Rocksteady can do that? Anyway. Maybe it was their dream since the beginning to make a Suicide Squad game. I don't fucking... maybe. Seems unlikely, but I don't know. And that's not to dog on Suicide Squad. I'm very excited for the game. I just don't think that... that was necessarily that wasn't at the top of the list. They've always said that besides Batman, a Superman game is the number one on their list. And they're not making a Superman game after the success of Arkham, where they've proven that they're the best superhero video game developers in the world. So I'm sure they're passionate about making the Suicide Squad game. I just don't think that was what they pitched first. But anyway, so between that, the fact that Rocksteady Suicide Squad isn't coming out until 2022. By the way, that is 7 years. 7 between Arkham Knight and Suicide Squad. And that might get delayed too because of work from home. That could be 2023, making it 8 years. And then WB Games Montreal, if the game is delayed, would be 9 years from Arkham Origins to now. Again, I'm not saying this in any way to pressure the devs to publish the game before it's ready. I understand the implications of crunch, and I don't think that people should be forced to work incredibly long weeks to finish the game or whatever. That's just my personal opinion on the matter. But from our perspective as a fan, it's brutal if the game does get delayed. Really hoping we can get it by 2021. And I know that there were so many hopes and aspirations that we would get the game by summer. Certainly doesn't seem like that's the case. I'm not saying, once again, that it won't be. It just doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like that's going to be a reality at this point. It certainly appears as though we're probably going to get it more towards the end of the year. So, anyway, rant over. I'm sorry if you're on desktop. You must hate this video because it's in vertical, but I think around 70% of my viewers are on mobile, so pretty substantial amount. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and become a member of the channel. You get a bonus commentary every single Sunday. It's just for members. A lot of people seem to enjoy those, and it's more of like vlogs and personal behind the scenes things with me. So, if you enjoyed that and want to see more videos, definitely tune into that. I have a new series that I'm starting up coming either at the end of this month or into next month. Lots of great stuff coming there. Additionally, make sure that you tune in to my comic book haul review that I have coming up. And I've been publishing a bunch of videos this week, have more coming out next week. So just stay tuned for all the content coming your way. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.